take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. It's time!
It's Sunday, October 18th, 2020. This is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Tabor Cragen.
My name is Mason Knight. This is episode 42, the Brian Ortega versus Korean Zombie recap show. Then we're jumping into some MMA news, and then after that, we talk about the highly anticipated UFC 254 Khabib versus Gaethje preview show. Tabor, where do we begin?
With our social media accounts, Mason. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the Church of MMA. Guys, if you aren't already following, make sure you go and do it. We are growing every single day. Also, update with the YouTube channel. We're at 151 subscribers, Mason.
Hey, we just hit 150. That's awesome, man.
So crazy. And it's crazy because we are only a few weeks out from hitting 100. So the way we have been growing every single day, I love what I'm seeing, guys. I love the comments. Keep commenting. You can get shouted out at the end of the show.
It's normal.
It's normal. Absolutely. Mason, this was a big card this last weekend.
Yeah, it was. Very big card. This was also had huge implications for the featherweight division. But man, what a shock this was. This might have been the biggest shock of the year as far as like main event fights, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how this fight went down.
Yeah.
I mean, pure and utter domination by Brian Ortega. You know, we had come into this podcast, and I love what Brian Ortega had to say to all of his haters. Learn how to count.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I must be one of them, so I need to pull out my fucking calculator and start learning how to count. Because, man, in a way, you know, I had picked the Korean Zombie to win this fight. I really did. But,
Same.
Dude, Brian Ortega, this is Brian Ortega 2.0.
Oh, absolutely.
And they were saying that on the broadcast, too. But, man, that 2 years off, and it's the same kind of effect as like Sugar Sean O'Malley. You know, after that whole debacle that he had, taken 2 years off, and then it just amplifies their game. Brian Ortega was on another level in clear-cut, concise, number one contender in the featherweight division. Let's see him fight in Alexander Volkanovski. Tabor, what do you think about that fight?
Are you 100% in for that
100%
fight?
in.
100%?
Yes, 100%. Unquestionably. Chan Sung Jung, you don't do that to a man. You don't dismantle a man like that for 5 straight rounds. And here's the thing. Brian Ortega is the jiu-jitsu artist. He is the jiu-jitsu practitioner. Yeah. I thought where he would win this fight, if he was going to win the fight, would be on the ground, taking him down, you know, and submitting him somehow, you know, with a guillotine choke or however else he decided to do it. But no, dude, he stood up with him. His striking has improved drastically. I am 110% in on Brian Ortega. You can say I'm jumping ship or jumping on the bandwagon. That's fine. I'll be wrong. I'll probably be wrong every fucking week on this podcast, but I don't have a problem being wrong because, dude, I'll just call a spade a spade. And this is, Brian Ortega looked phenomenal. He surprised the hell out of me, and yes. I am super excited for that number one contender fight. Give him Alexander Volkanovski for the championship. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, dude. He looked phenomenal. He evolved his game so much. He was really Neil Magny-like. Remember Neil Magny took that fucking a year and a half off, came back, and just looked like a completely evolved fighter, well-rounded. Everything he was doing, Brian Ortega, I mean, chaining in the takedown attempts, the level changes with the striking, it was beautiful, dude.
It was.
It really was beautiful.
And that was the thing, too. I mean, you know, like, Chan Sung Jung couldn't get started because that's what Ortega was doing so well and implementing in his game so well. So he'd be throwing these combinations. Chan couldn't really get it going, and then I noticed throughout the entire fight he would feint that little like grab or he'd grab the back of the leg. It's brilliant, man.
Yes.
It just you could never get going with that. Exactly. Not only was he worrying about the stand up, but he was worried about getting taken down. Wow, what a performance by Brian Ortega.
Yeah.
Really just blown away. Honestly.
Yeah.
Not what I saw, not what I thought, man. I really thought this was going to be a very closely contested fight, and I thought the Korean Zombie was going to get it done. A testament, though, to the Korean Zombie's chin in the second round. Any other fighter, you're lights out.
The spinning elbow. Oh, my goodness.
You're out. You're out cold. You ain't coming back. But somehow they call him the Korean Zombie, and it fits him perfectly because there aren't too many guys who could come back from that. I thought it was over. When that elbow landed, I was like, hey, it's over. There's no way. Brian Ortega's just going to, barrage him with punches. sure enough, he got out of that. So, I mean, hats off to him, but he did get dominated for 5 straight rounds.
Yeah, well, every single card was a 50-45.
Yeah.
And you have to agree with that.
And I agree with that.
Yeah, you have to. Every single round was, I mean, you could argue 10-8 for that second. I mean,
when I was live tweeting too on our, and this is like the first time I've ever tweeted on our Twitter page, but I was tweeting round by round. I was like, who would have ever thought Chan Sung Jung would be down 3 rounds right now?
Yeah.
I mean, that was after the third.
No one. I mean, I said on our last podcast that I really think the only way Brian Ortega really gets the title shot is if maybe he comes in and pieces up fucking Chan Sung Jung for 5 rounds. And that's exactly what he did. So, you know what? Give him the title shot. It's a very interesting matchup. But, you know, MMA maths, you know, obviously MMA math never fucking adds up, guys. We all know that. We're fans. And I mean, we're watching this shit. Dudes that knock each other out. It doesn't add up. But does this T-City 2.0 compete way differently with the Max Holloway, or does he get dominated again?
You know, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't think so. I think he puts up a way more competitive fight. Are you shitting me? The way he was blending in the beautiful strikes, it's a way more interesting matchup. And that's kind of what we want, you know, especially for Max Holloway. He's probably not getting that third Alexander Volkanovski fight, so the only way for him to get that title shot is maybe if a T-City wins, and then he gets that rematch.
Yep.
This featherweight division just got a huge wrench thrown into it.
It really did, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, this is great for the sport. This is exactly what you want.
Yes.
Especially in a featherweight division that is so fucking good.
Yes.
So good, dude, that I'm just like, it baffles me. I mean, you got Zabit, Chan Sung Jung coming off that loss. You got Yair Rodriguez in the wings. You got Calvin Kattar. It's like, dude, pick your poison here. Yeah. This is such a good division. I am so excited for it. And hats off to Brian Ortega, because here's the thing. You would ask me that question yesterday. Hey, Mason, do you think Max Holloway, would you ever want to see Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega? I said, get the hell out of my face.
Yeah,
no,
honestly,
I never want to see that again.
I would 100% agree with that.
Never. Because, you know, at one point I was even thinking, man, they should stop this freaking fight, you know? But now, the way Ortega was, I mean, dude, it really baffles me. I'm kind of speechless in a lot of ways, like how drastically improved Brian Ortega was in this fight. And against a guy who knows how to stand and bang. It's as simple as that, man.
And and it has to be said, I mean, was that the Korean Zombie that normally comes out and knocks out Frankie Edgar in the first round, or Moicano in the first round? I don't think so, dude. I'm not trying to take anything away from Brian Ortega's performance. It was beautiful. It deserves the 7 minutes. We've talked about it. But at the same time, we have to recognize, was that the same Korean Zombie that we're used to seeing? I don't think so, dude. I think he looked nervous before the fucking fight even started.
Well, let's talk about this. This was his longest layoff in UFC history outside of the mandatory service for his country. He took a 14-month layoff here. And you know, people talk about the ring rust thing. Is ring rust a real thing? You and I will never know, because we've never gotten an octagon, nor do we ever plan on getting on an octagon. But I think in certain cases, in certain scenarios, ring rust could potentially be a real thing. You know, I mean, you take a guy like Israel Adesanya, who throughout his entire career has fought 4 times a year with consistency over and over and over again. Let's pull Izzy out for 18 months, 24 months. Do I still think he would put on a great performance? Absolutely. But would it take him time to warm up? Yeah. Yeah.
100% agree with that statement.
So
100%. I feel bad for my man, because he even came out today and said that he was embarrassed with that performance. And you should be, dude, because, I mean, 5-round domination like that, like, we don't see that every day, especially when you're a striker and you get beat up by a jiu-jitsu guy on the feet. I really feel bad. I really feel bad for the guy. I hope he gets that maybe a big fight back and could have a good comeback, because, I mean, he's still in the mix.
Oh, of course.
He's still in the mix, and he's still young. He's only 33 years old, I believe. So, I mean, he's got so much tread on the tires, even though he is a guy that loves to take damage in these fights. But you know what? Fuck, I mean, he's not.
It's a Korean Zombie, though. As you just said, he's such a dynamic and entertaining fighter. He had an off night. It happens to fighters. You know, I'm not going to take anything away from him. It just wasn't his night. It was all Brian Ortega. T-City is back, and all you haters, all you doubters, learn how to count.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the animosity got to him, because this is really the first time we really heard a Chan Sung Jung really talk just a whole bunch of shit upcoming into a fight.
It definitely could have.
It could have gotten to him.
Did you see what happened after the fight, though?
No.
Brian Ortega and the Korean Zombie, They go up to each other, and the Korean Zombie kind of like playfully slaps him in the face. They give each other a hug. It was actually
I didn't see that.
It was a really beautiful moment because, there was so much animosity going into this fight. If you guys don't know, obviously, if you're living under a rock, Brian Ortega went up to Jay Park, which is Korean Zombie's translator, smacked him around. I guess he's like a huge Korean superstar. And smacked him around at a UFC event. Wasn't that the Poirier event? Or what event was that?
No, that was the Izzy Yoel event.
That's right, the Izzy Yoel. Smacked him around a little bit, big controversy, shouldn't have done that, yada, yada, yada. So after the fight, Zombie playfully goes up, smacks him in the face, give each other a hug, and then Brian Ortega drops to his knees and gives him the respectful bow.
I did see that.
yeah.
I saw them both were bowing to each other.
Right, which I thought is great. Like let bygones be bygones, don't hate each other forever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But hats off to Brian Ortega. What a fight.
Yeah, before we move on from this main event, one last storyline from it is Brian Ortega cut off all his hair and showed up to the weigh-ins bald.
That's right.
And it
That
really
was a little
shocked
bit
a
of a
lot of
surprise.
people. Yeah, it shocked a lot of people. People
Some
were
people
saying maybe it was a bad weight cut and he had to cut it off. And then he said, completely not true. I'm donating the hair to a charity for kids with cancer to make them wigs and stuff. And I was like,
Here's the
amazing.
thing. If it was a bad weight cut, he did the right thing.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a bad weight cut, he did the right thing. So what the fuck does it matter? He donated the hair to people who need it, people who have cancer. Like it's a great thing either way. So who cares? Who cares if he had a bad weight cut? He made weight. He was a pro. That's what he did. So I hate these people. They're so fucking negative sometimes on like social media and stuff. It's just like, guys, do you have to be angry about everything?
I don't think they're angry.
He did a good thing. He did the right thing.
Yeah. Good on him. Okay. We both took Zombies, so no points.
No.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah.
We trusted in him, but
Not for Brian Ortega, man.
Yeah, dude,
Not for Brian Ortega.
Yeah.
Never again. Don't doubt him. Don't you dare ever doubt him.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this co-main event, the women's flyweight co-main event, Caitlyn Chicagan versus Jessica Andraj. Wow, this is not how I saw this fight going down whatsoever. Did Jessica Andraj put on a performance in that body shot? That body shot ended it all. What a punch.
Yeah, and to land it, and then like a delayed reaction.
The
delayed reaction to spin and turn your back in the middle of a fight. That was just pure pain. And another left hook to the body, and then she dropped and was done completely. So much power for Jessica Andraj. And now the first woman in UFC history to have a win in all three divisions.
That's insane.
Insane. Well, obviously not all four. I mean, then you got featherweight, but still insane.
Well, 3,
135, 25, and 15.
She's never going to fight at 145.
No. Could you imagine?
But I mean, dude, what a fight for Jessica Andrade. I mean, literally taking out the number one contender. There is a clear cut now. She has got to fight Valentina Shevchenko. There's just no other way around it. We all got to see that fight.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see it because Jessica Andrade is just a fucking marauder, dude. I mean, she was always a really thick, jacked girl, even at 115 and then 125. She was thick.
Yeah, she looked strong. She looked real strong.
She looked really strong.
Yeah.
And so much power. I mean, if you're going to end someone with body shots like that, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Can you imagine if she connected to the chin with one of those hooks? Like,
God dang. No.
I would love to see the Valentina fight. I mean, let's be real. I mean, it's an interesting matchup, but it's probably going to end in the same way every Valentina fight happens. Either a vicious KO or she picks you apart for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
But I'd still like to see it.
Absolutely.
I'll buy the pay-per-view. Easy as that. So good on Jessica Andrade. I think she's going to have a bright future at 125 or really 115. It doesn't matter what she's in.
She has a bright future wherever she goes.
Absolutely.
It's Jessica Andrade.
Absolutely. Former champ. So, I wouldn't be shocked if she really jumped the line, especially after this. When is Valentina fighting?
Well, I mean,
November?
you took out the number one contender in the first round. You got the best case possible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best case. You look at Dana and go, how the fuck do you not get... I literally just took out your number one contender within the first round.
Yeah.
How do you not get the next shot? It's clear cut to me.
Yeah, we'll see if she
jumped
wants
the
to
line
wait.
a little bit, but I mean, who else? Valentina's essentially cleaned out that division anyway, so give her Jessica Andrade.
Yeah, you got a good point. Yep, might as well throw her in there.
Yeah,
throw her in there. I want to see her fight. Who's she fighting now? Jennifer Maia and Andrade on the same night. Fuck it, let's make that happen, guys. All right, next fight: Jimmy Crute and Modestas Bukakas. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh my goodness.
Short-lived.
Ridiculous power from Jimmy Crute. He's not the tallest 205er I've ever seen. He's not the longest. But he might be one of the hardest hitting. Oh my God, dude. That left hook he finished him with.
Yeah.
And then the straight right. Dude, that was vicious and disgusting. And I loved every second of it. And I told... exactly. I predicted first round KO. So I don't want to say I knew this was going to happen, but I'm not shocked it did.
Tabor, you did know it was going to happen because you
I took it, but I was out. It was on a limb. I was going with Crew, but we'll see. I'm very excited with Crew. Was this Bukakis' first fight in the UFC? I believe it was. So, Crew is one of these guys who keeps on destroying these lower-level UFC fighters. And then when he got that top 15 matchup against Serkinov, it didn't end well for him. Yeah. So, really, where do we go with his next fight? Does he deserve a ranked fight? Probably not, but I would love to see him get a guy that is maybe right there breaking into the top 15.
Yeah. Bukakis, it was his second fight. He fought July 15th, just so you know. Okay. He won that fight. But as far as Jimmy Crute is concerned, do you give him a top 15?
I don't think so right after that, just because of the way the Serkinov fight did happen. But I think you can give him a guy that's floating right around there, maybe gets one more win, and then you give him maybe even a top 10 opponent. We will see. It's very easy to break into the top 15 in this light heavyweight division because they're constantly looking for new names.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. This fight, I actually just watched this fight in my truck kind of as I was coming over here. Claudio Silva and James Krauss.
Yeah, and this was interesting too, because as we had talked about in our preview show for this, Claudio Silva, after losing his first fight, first professional MMA fight, went 14-0 after that to become 14-1. But James Krauss, man, this guy, you cannot count him out. And I love kind of his story. Essentially, his story is like, yeah, I'd kind of rather coach, but I'll definitely take a fight. I'm a fighter. That's what I do. And he takes fights on like short notice all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
That's the only fights he takes, really.
And even after this fight, after this super impressive, dominating fight, won all 3 rounds on the judges' scorecard, he says, oh, man, I wish my cardio would have been better. It wasn't ideal. And I was thinking, what do you mean?
He's
Your
a coach,
cardio
man.
great?
He can't help himself. He's just constantly picking everything apart.
I thought he looked awesome. I really did. I was so impressed with James Krauss. I really was.
And he is a bit of an aging guy, and he's a vet. He's had so many fucking fights.
But I can honestly say, like, watching him, the way he would sprawl, the way he would set up submissions and set up defenses, I can tell he knows, like, really knows what he's doing.
Oh,
I know
yes.
And that's like, it's kind of dumb to say that because obviously they're professional mixed martial artists, but when you're fighting a guy like Claudio Silva, who is so dangerous, who hasn't lost in 14 professional fights, just the way he was kind of able to defend anything he tried to throw at him. Because let's talk about Silva. Silva was throwing haymakers. He was throwing some heavy bombs, and Krauss was just, his footwork looked great. He was getting out of the way. I don't know, man. As far as James Krauss is concerned, I was very, very impressed with him.
Yeah, and he looks fantastic.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
Every fight he's been in his last few years, it just looks great. It really does. He looks absolutely fantastic. That Trevin Giles fight, I really thought he won that fight. And, the judging was really suspect that night. And it was another short notice fight. Like you said earlier, he doesn't even really know if he wants to fight anymore. Right. But he's just so talented, and he's very entertaining to watch. Let's talk about it. In the post-fight press conference when they were asking, you remember the Joaquin Buckley from last week? A little unknown Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, you mean that guy who might have the coolest knockout in UFC history?
Yeah, of all time.
That guy?
The greatest knockout of all time. Yeah, well, apparently he wanted to train under James Krauss and Mark Montoya about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And James Krauss texted him back, told him to go fuck himself, and said, you're a fucking piece of shit. I don't want your negative energy in my gym. Go fuck yourself. You're not training.
Why?
Here. I don't know what happened or what was said between the two guys, but James Krauss does not like Joaquin Buckley and says, fuck that guy. I'll move up to 185 to fight him right now.
That is insane because after the Kasanagane fight, those guys met up, I guess, at the airport. There was a picture of them, and they're like, just saying really good things about each other. Obviously,
just last week?
Nagane, came out with that tweet, was like, hey, God bless you. Congratulations on a huge knockout. Joaquin Buckley was being very professional, very nice. So that is just very shocking to hear that James Krauss hates him as much as he does.
Well, we don't know what was said. Apparently, he's been saying that Joaquin's been a real talker these last few months, so I don't know. I'm just telling you right now, that's a fight that very much interests me.
Yeah, I'd like to watch it.
Very much interests me. Yeah.
Especially if there's some built animosity towards one another. Mm-hmm. Let's make that happen.
Yeah, well, MMA news, Joaquin Buckley just got announced for another fight here in November, next month. So, instant big name just because of that KO. And it's well-deserved. It was the craziest KO of all time.
Yeah,
easily.
It was.
So, okay, last fight we picked. Jonathan Martinez, Thomas Almeida. Mason, I did not watch this fight. Did you?
Yes, I did. Clear cut. Jonathan Martinez dominated in every aspect. He looked phenomenal. And then after the fight, I thought it was hilarious. DC asked him, he goes, hey, I know you don't want to, basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, I know you don't want to say, but who's next? And he goes, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. Please don't ask me this fucking question. Because, Martinez is just a soft-spoken, really nice guy.
He is. He's
doesn't want to call anyone out, just likes to fight, which is so weird to me, man. It's so weird to me to be a professional fighter, to literally try to kill the person across from you, and then to not want to call someone out.
I know. They do it all the time. It drives me nuts. I'm like, dude, you're missing your opportunity.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like, let's get some hype behind your name.
Pretty much. Jonathan was just like, no, I don't know.
Yeah, he's a great fighter, great up-and-coming boxer. I love watching this guy fight. I'm going to have to go back and watch this fight because it is a really great matchup. So, Thomas Almeida used to be, was he a title challenger at one point? I think so, or at least he got into the top 5. I remember he was very highly ranked at one point a few years ago. So that's a big win for Jonathan Martinez.
Absolutely.
Where does he fit in this division? Maybe he gets a top 15 opponent. Either way, I'd love to see it. I really like this Jonathan Martinez kid.
Yeah, as do I.
All right. MMA news time, Mason. Let's do it. Okay. It was the biggest news of these last several weeks. It's all anybody's talking about. Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. Apparently, it's not happening 2020. Yeah, so like you were saying.
January 23rd. Which, Conor came out and said, hey, UFC, you have to make this happen before 2021. And Dana said, I'm the boss. I do what I want. How about January of 2021? And I guess it has been confirmed by both fighters via Twitter, but the contracts have not been signed yet.
Yeah.
That's the latest that I've heard. Do you have any breaking news for us on this podcast at this point?
Nope. I just Googled it just to make sure, just to see if anything happened. But nope, still January 23rd. Like you just said, apparently it is set. Just we need contracts signed. It's probably the McGregor side. I mean, Dustin Poirier went on Ariel Helwani's podcast this last week and was talking about he hasn't gotten a single phone call. No one's called him.
Yeah.
No one's even tried. No one's not a text message. No one's called. Dana White hasn't called him. Hunter Campbell, Sean Shelby. Nobody.
That's so weird, man. I wonder what the thought process is behind that. I mean, does the UFC just really not want this fight to take place?
No. I think it's the exact opposite. They're just working so fucking hard on getting the Conor side done that they know Dustin's a wrap. I think they know Dustin's a wrap. They already know how much Dustin wants to get paid. I mean, he just went through those Tony Ferguson negotiations. Obviously, it's going to be more because now it's a Conor McGregor fight.
Of course. It's red panty night.
It's red panty night. And he ain't taking no fucking $200K that Cowboy got.
No. He's taking $1 million and nothing. He's taking 7 figures. That's for sure.
Easily.
No matter what. So
easily. So I think the UFC already knows what he wants. They're just trying so hard to get this McGregor side done that maybe it's postponing them. But I still think it's very weird. Like you're not even going to attempt to talk to your B side. It's just it's very weird. Very weird. I don't like it. But are we shocked? It's a Conor McGregor fight.
Of course. There's a lot of hoops and
ladders
mountains to get through. Yeah. I don't know the expression.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so now it's not happening in 2020. His season is now destroyed. Conor McGregor is now a once-a-year fighter, once every 2 years fighter. We all know this.
Yeah, I talked a lot of shit about Conor initially from that, but, I do get his point. After this whole Rona bullshit, and then, did you go through those texts?
What ones?
With Dana?
Oh, no.
He did ask Dana. According to those texts, he was asking for another fight.
Yeah.
He was trying to get it done. So
but it was fucking, what's his face? Diego Sanchez. I mean.
Well, right, obviously. Yeah, that was one of them. But I don't know. So I do get it at the same time. Let's move on to this, though. I'm super excited to talk about this. Jan versus Sterling is confirmed for December 12th. Dude, it is about damn time.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dana. I know...
I don't give a fuck.
I know you don't, but dude, thank you for making this fight happen because this is the fight that had to happen.
Yes.
This is the fight that Aljamain Sterling deserved it a long time ago, but he's finally getting his shot. Tabor, what are your thoughts?
It's the only fight we want to see in this division. Jan, I mean, you could have said Sterling deserved the Jose Aldo fight before Jan did. Jose Aldo didn't deserve the fight at all, you could say. It was just very weird that they made that matchup in the first place, but you kind of get it at the same time just because Jose is a big name. They're trying to get as many pay-per-view buys as possible in this stupid pandemic bullshit. I guess it makes sense. I guess it does. But now we're getting the one we want. Is it going to sell hard to the casuals? Probably not. Is it going to break 500,000 buys? Probably not. But you know what? It's a great fucking main event.
It's
a great fucking main event.
so
it's one that the
excited for this
hardcores
fight.
want.
Yeah.
We want to see this fight. And it's the only fight to make in the 135-pound division. So let's get it on.
No hyperbole. This is one of my most highly anticipated fights for the upcoming cards.
Yes.
Like, I'm serious. Like, easily. I'm almost more excited for this than I am Conor Dustin. If I'm being completely 100%
really?
transparent. Yeah. I am so excited for this. Because I just have really followed Aljamain Sterling's career over these last few years. And, you know, I was there in Fresno. It was Fresno or wherever, somewhere in California. I drove there. And against Marlon Moraes. And I watched him get KO'd, you know, with that vicious knee. And I was just like, damn, dude, that fucking sucks, because I was such a big fan of his. And then to see the rise after that, you know, and just the pure domination that he's been able to accomplish. I mean, I don't know. You know, to be able to do what he did to Corey Sandhagen, and then Corey Sandhagen being able to do what he just did to Marlon Moraes. I mean, I'm telling you right now, like, Aljamain Sterling is the real deal, and I really think this is going to be a phenomenal fight, man. I'm so excited for it as a fan. So, yeah, that's basically all I got on that.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, quick picks, gun to your fucking head. Who are you taking, dude? I think I'm going with Sterling.
I'm going with Sterling, no questions asked.
100%, dude. I think his jiu-jitsu is just going to be too good.
I think he's better everywhere. I think he's a better striker. I think he's a better... absolutely. I think he's better on the ground.
Boxing.
Yeah, I do. I really believe that.
It's a very interesting match.
He's long, lengthy, man. He can be in and out. Like, Jan's not going to be able to touch him.
Yeah, I can't wait for that fight.
Yeah,
It's going to be a great one. It's going to be a great one. Quick one that I didn't put in my notes, but it is a 135-pound fight. It's a big fight. They're trying to make this TJ Dillashaw versus Sugar Sean O'Malley fight for his comeback in January, either January or February. Did that shock you?
What? Come on, you're pulling my fucking leg.
I swear to God, I'm not joking. I should have put this in my notes. It just hit me, but yeah, that's the fight they're trying to make, dude. Sugar Sean O'Malley versus TJ Dillashaw.
First off, why would you do that to Sugar Sean O'Malley? I'm serious. And don't get me wrong, I love Sugar Sean O'Malley. But, dude, he's coming off a loss. And then you're going to go fight a guy like TJ Dillashaw? Who say what you will. Yeah, he's a fucking cheater. But he's easily the top 5 in this
easily,
division.
Dude.
Easily.
I mean, you have a hard argument to make. It's because he is a cheating fuck. But, I mean, he has an argument to make for an immediate title shot when he comes back.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was the former fucking champ. He was the man at 135 pounds.
He was. So
interesting.
I could, you know who I thought, and Corey Sandhagen called him out. I think
he did call. Yeah.
I think that's the fight you got to make. Give TJ Dillashaw to Corey Sandhagen. But dude, Sugar Sean O'Malley versus TJ. I'm just looking at these Sean Shelby and everyone and being like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, I mean, I would understand if it was Cheeto Vera. I think you would say Cheeto Vera deserves that fight after beating Sugar Sean. Yeah. So. It's weird. I get it. I get it. Sean's a fucking superstar, or in the making at least. So I get it why they're trying to push him like that.
And again, I'm not saying Sugar Sean O'Malley isn't a superstar, because he unquestionably is. But at the same time, I mean, now you're going to have your superstar potentially lose 2 fights in a row. And dude, he just got beat in the first round by Cheeto Vera. So he's going to go get matched up against TJ Dillashaw, a former champ.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen there? I mean, it's not going to be an easy fight for Sugar.
Fuck no, dude. It's not an easy fight.
That's just a weird that's a weird strategy for me. Give me that Corey Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw fight. That's the fight I want to see for the number 1 contender.
Yeah, I agree 100%, because either whoever wins that fight gets the next title shot against Sterling if he wins. So I can't wait. It's very interesting in the future, Mason.
It is.
Weird things are happening, and it is 2020 still, so I can't be shocked. Did you see that Khamzat Chimaev was at Fight Island?
Dude, okay, this was probably the high. He's Dana's boy.
He's Dana's boy, dude. They're boys now.
Dana's boy.
Did you see that Dean Thomas and fucking Matt Serra are jelly?
Oh, yeah, I could imagine they are.
They're like, we're jumping Hazmat next time we see him.
Bro, well, good luck with that, boy. Matt Serra, former champ. Hey, I'm not taking anything away from you. Dean Thomas, savage in his own right. But, guys, this is Hazmat Chimaev. You know, he's a young gun. This guy ain't fucking around. But, no, dude. During the fight, he's literally sitting right next to Dana while all the fighters, I saw like Jimmy Crute, going over to the cage talking to Dana. Guess who's sitting right next to him? Like he's his best friend, is Khamzat Chimaev. It's insane, dude. This guy, and then like I loved all the videos. I thought it was awesome. And dude, Khamzat Chimaev, I really got to remember, it was Phillips. I believe
John
it was
Phillips.
The guy he just beat. He was in the back room.
Made his debut.
Yeah, he was in the back room and like warming up with him and giving him tips and stuff like that. Like, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Like, Khamzat Chimaev looks... appears to be just a really great guy, but he just likes to smash, you know?
Oh, dude.
And I was watching him on the Schmo, too, and, like, he just seems like a very likable person. He is a superstar, man, in the making. And then, like, him and DC were wrestling
I
around
saw
at
that. I was laughing at that. That was awesome.
Man. There's no one I love more in the UFC. I'm dead serious. There is no one I love more in the UFC more than DC.
Yeah.
I think he's a great guy, man. I really do. Like, he's just always fun. He's always energetic. He's always easygoing. I don't know, man. He's just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so, I mean, after he was wrestling with DC, Chiesta's like, oh, DC, come out of retirement. Fight fucking Khamzat Chimaev. And he's like, Michael Chiesa, like, you're number 8 in the world. You fight at 170. You fight Khamzat Chimaev. What the fuck are you talking about? And then they faced off.
I loved it. Yeah.
That's an easy fight to make, UFC. That's an easy fucking money fight to make.
Absolutely.
Main event of a fight night. That's what they want Khamzat to be in. Number 8 in the world, Michael Chiesa. Guys.
Chiesa's not taking that fight, though. He was on the Schmo. Yeah, the Schmo and the Pro, and he was saying, hey, look, I want to fight guys ahead of me. I'm a 9-year vet in the UFC. He goes, it is my time to move up. I'm not going to take on these young guns. I deserve a guy higher than me in the rankings. So I don't think Chiesa's going to take that fight. And you know, I understand that. I get it. I do get it. But he did say that if Khamzat's got a number by his name, he's more than willing to fight him.
Yeah, I mean, but if but with the hype, you have to remember, it's like there's a reason why people wanted that Sugar Sean O'Malley fight, even though he was like 15 in the fucking world at the time. You can get that hype, guys. You beat a Khamzat. His hype is now yours. Chiesa, if you want a fucking number 1 contender fight, you beat a Khamzat Chimaev and you're getting it, baby.
Ooh, see, I disagree with that. I don't think you get a number 1 contender. I do. Okay, so look at the division here. I think for a guy like Neil Magny, who's number 10, I think that's the perfect answer to that. Because you're number 10 in the world, you can take that hype train. But when you're a Michael Chiesa and you're 8 and you're on that rank of like top 5,
you're about to hit it.
It's not going to do much for your career to beat a guy who's unranked. For a guy who's ranked 10 to 15, it's a little bit different.
Well, that's if rankings matter, Mason. We live in a world where rankings do not fucking matter.
Yeah.
Dana does not give a fuck.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I think hype is hype, bro. Conor McGregor fucking skyrocketed up into that title shot echelon after some wins over maybe only a couple top 10 competitors. So I think it's very easily could happen for either guy in that situation. Okay. Before we move on to our preview show for UFC 254, we have to talk about the pay-per-view afterwards in November. So as of now, it is still Alex Perez and Figueiredo and Valentina Shevchenko versus Maia. Do we need a main event for this card?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we need another main event?
I think if you're going to charge people $65, yeah, I think you do, man. I do, and that's no disrespect to Figueiredo, Perez, Shevchenko. It's no disrespect to any of them, but it's just, yeah, you need something a little bit more meaty there. I would have loved to see that Colby Jorge, or Tony, literally, like as you said, as you have here, like Tony versus literally anyone.
Mm-hmm. And he wants to fight.
I know.
He wants to fight. And I can't believe I didn't say this last week when we were talking about Tony. The only reason he didn't take a fight was because that apparently Michael Chandler was making more money than him.
Which is so freaking... It's so irritating.
Yeah. He's like, I want to fucking fight, guys, but you're going to disrespect me with that bullshit? If you want this guy to come in and get a number 1 contender fight right off the bat, whatever, but he isn't making more fucking money than me, is what he said.
This is number 1 bullshit.
See, even Habib agrees. I mean, it is. It's number 1 bullshit, man. Yeah. That's so messed up.
100%. And yeah, like you said, no disrespect to Figueiredo or Valentina, but it's like they're not bringing eyeballs in.
Right.
And you could do what they did with the Henry Cejudo fight in Chicago a few years ago versus Marlon Moraes. You put a Tony Ferguson versus Cowboy or someone like that. You say this is the people's main event. You promote the shit out of that fight, and you put that fight right before the title fights.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna stay and watch Valentina and then fucking
the title fights.
Yeah, everyone's gonna stay.
Right.
So I mean, that's what you got to do, guys. I mean, does John Jones Israel Adesanya happen in 4 weeks? Probably not. I don't think so. I think that fight's long gone.
That fight's not gonna happen. As I said last week, it is not happening in 2020. I don't see that fight happening until 2022, 2023.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that this fight might never happen.
I don't think it will. Yeah. Not for a while. Not for a while.
Well, and just the way like Israel Adesanya. It's like he just knows that he's getting to John Jones. And all John Jones wants to do is fight the man.
Yeah.
Because he knows it's going to be a massive fucking paycheck. It's going to be his biggest paycheck other than maybe a Francis Ngannou, Stipe Miocic fight. Probably bigger than those ones.
Probably
is. Let's be real. So He just wants that paycheck, and Israel won't fucking give it to him. And I think that's what irks him so much. That's why he's so fucking mad about it. And I get it. Mason, do you want to take a little break for your puppies before we start this preview show?
No.
Okay. All right. Good. Fuck them.
They'll just be even louder, bro. They'll just be even louder. Like,
Yeah.
you got to let them fucking howl it out, and
Honestly.
then it is what it is.
Honestly, fuck them. UFC 254 is this weekend, guys. Justin Gaethje versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Champion versus champion. How hyped are you for this fight, bro?
We've been waiting for this forever.
Yeah.
I was watching the fights this weekend with Ken, and he really pissed me off because we're watching it. The countdown or whatever came on for this, to promote it, and he goes, "Oh, wouldn't that be funny if one of them got I mean, he was joking, obviously. He was like, "Oh, wouldn't that be funny if one of them got COVID and couldn't? The fight was off." And
That's what Chandler's for.
And I literally looked at him. And I was like, "What? What the fuck are you doing? Why
"Are
would
you
you even
trying
say that? Like, but he doesn't understand the implications of like a Tony Ferguson Khabib, where it never will happen, where it's been canceled 5 times. That I was like, how dare you say that? But no, man, I am so excited for this fight. I'm just trying. I don't know. It's one of those weird things where it's like I'm waiting in anticipation, but I'm trying not to get too excited until like all the embeddeds come out, until we're really in the swing of it. Until I watch the hour countdown. So, but no, dude, I am so hyped for this fight. And it's such an intriguing matchup for Khabib Nurmagomedov. I really think, Justin Gaethje brings things that I don't think Khabib has never seen, on that level. I mean, 100% finish rate in the UFC. Either he finishes people or he gets finished. That is insane. I mean, he's had 24 professional fights. 24. He's 22-2. This guy is something special, man. I mean, he's a different animal. I mean, I just take one look at Justin Gaethje and I'm like, he might be nice, but I'm never going to say anything that might even slightly irritate this guy because I don't want to rip my head off. That's just, I don't know, man. I'm so excited for this fight. What are your thoughts, Tapes?
Yeah, well, my thoughts are as easy as this. I think post Poirier Gaethje might be the most dangerous man the UFC's ever seen. Easily as that. He's fucking great anti-wrestler. He's great on the feet. He's got one-punch knockout power, and he's fucking timid now. He's picking his shots. He's not eating 15 shots just to land one big one and try to get the KO.
And he might be one of the most durable fighters in the UFC.
Oh, ever. Yeah. Ever. Korean zombie-like. It's just, this man is fucking, memes aside, this is a big meme in the MMA community. He's the Homer Simpson, they say, but he fucking is, dude. He was for the longest time, and it was so successful. He was 18-0 when he got to the UFC, destroyed, who was it, Michael Johnson?
Yeah.
And then, he just got thrusted into the top competition, and we found out that, hey, maybe that style doesn't hold up against the best in the world. Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier.
Yep. But then he changed his game plan. As you said, he started to be more calculated with the strikes. He wasn't the wild man throwing because we all know Justin Gaethje can literally go shot for shot with anyone.
Yes.
Shot for shot with anyone. But at some point, as we said before, there are levels to this game. And when you get to a certain level, you can't go shot for shot with people.
Yes.
But he changed, he evolved his game, and this is the most dangerous Justin Gaethje I think we've ever seen. But again, we talk about Khabib Nurmagomedov, the most dominant champ in UFC history. And yes, I say the most dominant champ in UFC history outside of including John Jones. You want to know why? John Jones doesn't win every single round of every championship fight. Almost does, but Khabib he is suffocatingly dominant.
Scary good.
Scary. He doesn't lose even a minute of a round.
Yeah, the only person to win a round against him was Conor McGregor, and he essentially took that entire fucking round off and decided to strike.
Right.
With Conor McGregor. Strike with Conor McGregor.
So in 28 professional fights, maybe on some people's scorecards, Khabib has lost one round in 28 professional fights.
It's insane.
That is scary good.
It's insane,
That is
dude.
scary good.
It's insane.
And that's why this fight's just awesome, man. I just cannot wait for this.
Yeah, is Justin Gaethje the best defensive wrestler Khabib has ever faced? I think so, dude. I think so.
We haven't seen too much of it. I mean, we've seen a combined, 17 seconds of Justin Gaethje on the ground? I think that's it.
And who's the only person to ever stuff a takedown? I think it's Conor and Ally Quinta, really.
Yeah.
They stuffed maybe Gleason Tybau in that fight. I mean, That happened so long ago, and that was when
Yeah, it did.
Khabib was still evolving. He was so fresh in his career, so you can't really count that fight. A lot of people said he lost that fight. You can make arguments. I get it. But this Khabib Nurmagomedov in his prime, 28-0, says he probably has 2 fights left. How old is he? 31, 32?
Yeah,
You know, we can't just not mention the fact that his father just passed away from COVID-19 only a few short months ago.
Yeah, and I think, that it should be interesting. He's 32 years old. It should be interesting to see how he's able to deal with that. But if anyone, Khabib is the toughest of the tough, you know. I think he'll do
hard
just
people.
fine.
Very hard people come from Dagestan. So it really depends, because he was his main partner. Mm-hmm. He was his training partner. He was his fucking main coach. He did everything, and he
mentor,
loved
best friend,
everything, everything. So everything a father should be really was that to Khabib. So sad. Will this get into his head? I don't know. I really am interested in this matchup, Mason. Let's just kind of get into the fight. Does Khabib take Justin Gaethje down every single round?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think he wants to strike with him.
He has to. That's the game plan. And we already know what the game plan is coming into every single one of his fights. Let's be real. Khabib Nurmagomedov is going to take you down and smash you. Mm-hmm. That's what he's going to do.
Yep.
Okay? And he's not going to strike with Justin Gaethje. We know that. It's just, can he get the takedown in every single round? That's going to be the biggest question in this fight. Will he be able to grind him out for 5 rounds, or will he be able to take his back and finish Justin Gaethje? We've seen it happen, but Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
This is a hard fucking fight to pick, dude.
It's so crazy. I cannot believe the odd makers have this at a Khabib minus 310 favorite, Justin Gaethje at a plus 255. I am telling you right now, strictly if you are a betting man just going on odds. I'm not saying who I would rather see win this fight, because either way, it's going to be a phenomenal fight, and either guy who wins, I'm going to be happy for him. But dude, if you're a betting man, just because these odds are so astronomically wide, I'd go lay a little bit of money on Justin Gaethje if you're a betting man. Plus 255, Vegas is really counting this guy out. I think this fight is much closer than what the Vegas odd makers have it.
Yes.
Much closer.
Yes, dude. Yes. Yes,
So-
absolutely. So I would throw $100 on Justin.
Yes, for value for your buck, man.
Just for shits
You're not
and
going to
giggles.
get it any better than a plus 255 for Justin Gaethje in this title fight.
Absolutely. Really, if Justin's chances of victory is to stuff the takedown and then start striking on the feet.
Yep.
Is he going to pull a Paulo Costa or a Korean Zombie and go out there and fucking fall asleep in the fight? I don't think so, dude. This is Justin Gaethje.
No.
I think he's going in there knowing, hey, I'm either getting choked the fuck out or I'm dying of ground and pound.
Let me ask you this. Have we ever seen a boring Justin Gaethje fight?
Never.
Have we ever seen a Justin Gaethje fight that has ended in decision?
Never.
All right.
So
There's
he's
your
going.
answer right
He's
there.
going in there to take Khabib's head off, dude, and he fucking can. He could get a KO in any of these rounds.
Yep. And I think he tries in the first round. I don't think there's
he tries.
I don't think there's any, obviously he's cool, calm, and calculated. I think he's a much better evolved fighter. But again, he's going to go in there and he's going to try to strike with Khabib right away. He's not going to give him any time to settle in, get used to it. Because, again, we're talking about Khabib. He's had quite a long layoff. In all
Very long
reality,
layoff.
how long has it been? 14 months, 16 months? It's been over a year. I know that for a fact. When was UFC 242? Wasn't that November last year?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so a year off. He's had a full year off. Justin Gaethje.
That was October last year.
Oh, it was October. Yeah, okay. So yeah, a full year. So I think Justin Gaethje is going to go in there. He's going to try to set the pace right away, and he's not going to let Khabib take him down. He's going to be very aware of those takedowns. But do I think Khabib can take him down? Do I think he's going to try to take him down? Absolutely.
Yeah, but
I think
he's going to get taken down.
That's what I was going to say.
going to
I think Khabib is going to be successful in his takedowns. It's a matter of how Justin Gaethje's defense is going to come into play here, and is he going to be able to get back to his feet? If he can't, then it's over. Khabib wins in the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah, it'll be just like every one of his other fights. He's going to push you up against the fence, and then he's going to fuck you up with that amazing ground and pound that he's such known for. Let's be real. It's the most dangerous ground and pound we've ever seen in UFC history, right?
Oh,
It's gotta
absolutely.
be,
Yeah.
right? There's no one that's got better. You could say it has much Chimaev now, but it's so fresh
come
and
on.
new. You
Yeah,
can't even
no,
compare
no,
the two.
No.
Yeah, very interesting, man. I'm just going to give you my pick right fucking now. I still haven't even made it, but I'm just going for it. Justin Gaethje, 1st round KO, dude. I think he's going to shock the fucking world, man.
Wow.
I really do. I think he can. Let's say he stuffs that first takedown and fucking hits him while he's trying to get out. He could KO Khabib with one shot. Khabib's got a great chin, though. He did eat some of those shots from Conor McGregor. He's eaten some of those shots from Dustin Poirier. I just think it's different with Justin Gaethje right now, dude. He might be the most dangerous man in UFC history. I really think that. I think he might be the most violent man in UFC history right now. I think calculated Gaethje is more dangerous than TRT Vitor. I think calculated Gaethje is more dangerous than juiced up fucking Overeem. Calculated Gaethje might be the best fighter we've seen in a very long time, and I'm going with him first round KO.
Okay, well, you know, at a plus 255, you will get an extra point for that as well. If Justin Gaethje is the victor Saturday, October 24th. For me, my pick, clear cut and concise. I have not seen, now keep in mind, Justin, I completely agree with you, Tabor. I really do believe Justin Gaethje could go out there, shock the world, get a first round, get a second round knockout. Unquestionably, Justin Gaethje right now is just on this trajectory of greatness. I think, for lack of a better word, I mean, he's on a trajectory of greatness right now. However, Khabib Nurmagomedov is suffocating. I think Khabib is going to take him down. Well, I have not seen enough from Justin Gaethje on the ground to really be confident in his defense.
We've never seen it.
Exactly. I mean, 17 seconds in all of his fights. He's been on the floor, on the mats for 17 seconds over the course of all his entire career in the UFC. So there's really not a lot to go off of. And I think Khabib Nurmagomedov is a different beast on the ground. Like, you're just not going to get up. I think Khabib's going to suffocate him. I think he's going to take him down over and over and over again. I have Khabib winning in the fourth round submission.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
And I'm not taking anything away from Justin Gaethje. And there are some times where I hate picking because, like, it could very easily go the other way with Justin Gaethje. For me, this is a coin flip. Like,
this really should be a coin flip, yeah.
It should be. I can't believe Vegas odds. Like, I'll say it one more time. I can't believe Vegas odds are so astronomically, like, different. Like, a minus 310 and a plus 255 blows my mind. This should be so much closer on the books. And guess what? I'd pick Khabib to win, but I'd still go and place money on Gaethje because he very well could get the job done Saturday morning.
It's my favorite sport because of stuff like this. GSP did lose to fucking Matt Serra, guys. Crazy shit can happen.
Shit happens, man.
And so, okay, let's just say MMA maths, Justin Gaethje KOs Khabib, and then Conor McGregor fucking KOs Dustin Poirier in the first round. You make that dream matchup. It's the fight everyone wanted to see anyways. It's the fight Conor wants. It's the fight UFC wants. It makes money. Red panty night for everybody. Everybody's happy. Or they do the Khabib-Conor rematch. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, unfortunately for Khabib, I think if Khabib loses this fight, the UFC and Dana White, he's not as... He is a superstar over in Russia and stuff, but as far as worldwide, Conor McGregor is the biggest superstar. Well, if Conor goes out and beats Dustin, they're going to get him a shot.
Yes,
even though Khabib has been the most dominant champ, the most dominant lightweight fighter we've ever seen, they're still going to screw him over. And I think if Khabib were to lose this fight...
you have to immediate rematch almost.
Immediate rematch, man. I mean, he's just so dominant.
The first person to beat Khabib Nurmagomedov, I've said this for a long time, will probably have to beat him twice.
Should beat him twice.
Yeah. Well, they will have to.
Yeah.
Or else they're not the real champ, essentially. It's going to be a GSP situation, so... Very interesting. I can't wait for this fight. Khabib needs to fight. I hate that he only fights once a year. It just sucks because I'm such a big fan and I love watching these fights. So I'm very excited for this. I can't wait. Let's talk about this co-main event, Mason.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
This is another fun one, dude. This is an absolutely fantastic card. I mean, a few fights did fall out, but I mean, for still, it's fucking stacked. It's stacked, and I love it. Robert Whittaker versus Jared Canniere. Clear number one contender fight for the middleweight division. Dana has said the winner of that fight will fight Israel next.
I love it.
I love it, dude.
I love it.
I fucking love it. I can't wait for this fight. I'm going to give you my pick right now because this is how confident I am in it. Jared Canniere, first round KO. Dude, Jared Canniere is the fucking dark... Everyone says this. This is the dark horse of this division. Dude, he is so dangerous. He has so much power. And we have to remember, this man used to be extremely chunky and fight at heavyweight in the UFC. So, I mean, he's carried that power down through every weight class. Fought at light heavyweight, fought Dominic Reyes. Yes, he got KO'd, but you know what? He was still evolving his game, came back down to middleweight, and he's looked absolutely fucking fantastic since. This is a huge fight. And Bobby Knuckles, this is a fight. If Bobby Knuckles wins this fight over a Jared Canniere, instant immediate title shot, instant immediate rematch with Israel Adesanya. I can't wait for this fight, dude. What's your take, man?
All right, so my take is kind of the same as Vegas, and I think this one is a lot better here. They've got Jared Canniere, the slight favorite, at a minus 115. Robert Whittaker sitting at a minus 105.
Yeah.
That's what the books have right now. And that's kind of how I see this fight. I mean, Robert Whittaker really impressed me in his comeback fight against Darren Till. I thought he looked phenomenal, given the loss that he had against one Israel Adesanya. But again, to go back to Jared Cannonier, I mean, he's got cannon bombs in his hands, dude.
Cannons,
he will
dude.
put you to sleep with one punch. But man, Robert Whittaker's so good, former champ. I don't know. I keep going back and forth on this, and like I'm still going back and forth on it with the Vegas odds being a slight. I was honestly just gonna go pick the underdog, but man, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with Whittaker. I'm gonna go with Whittaker decision.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can't be shocked. I mean, the way Robert looked at, like you said, in that Darren Till fight, I haven't been the most impressed with Darren Till lately, just because I feel like he really needs to pick up the pace and throw and have a bit more output. He's just so timid and tries to be the counter striker. If he would have fought differently, I really think he could have won that Robert Whittaker fight. So we'll see if he gets this big win. I mean, it's obvious. Okay, yeah, you deserve it. You're the guy. And we need to see that rematch. But I really don't see it going any different against Israel. I think Israel is just that much better than Whittaker and maybe the rest of this division. So we will find out. Yep. I can't wait for this fight. Jared Cannonier has been on my radar since really before the Anderson Silva fight. Who did he fight right before that? I can't remember. We'll have to pull it up later, but it's not that big of a deal. So he's been on my radar for a long time, and I can't wait to see this fight because Jared Cannonier is one of these guys that I would really like to see matched up against Israel Adesanya.
Right after Anderson, he lost to Dominic Reyes. He got KO'd, but then beat David Branch.
That's right. That was the fight I saw that really put Jared Cannonier on the map for me, was that David Branch fight, because I was very high on David Branch as well.
Yeah.
Okay, next fight, Mason. Alexander Volkov and Walt Harris. Walt Harris's first fight back since that Overeem fight, which was his first fight back since his the murder of his daughter. His
stepdaughter.
It was really sad, and it was a huge story of that week, and everyone in the entire world just wanted to see the man get a victory, not only for him, for his daughter. And so it was rough. It was a rough and emotional weekend for really the entire MMA community.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so this is a big fight. I mean, they're giving him a big name, and right off the bat, I mean, and he's deserving. I mean, he looked great in that first round against Overeem. He just maybe gassed a little too soon.
Yeah, he gassed himself. Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. And you have an argument there that fight should have been stopped.
Yes.
But, I mean, Overeem got the job done. So, at the same time, maybe not. You know? And the resurgence of Overeem, I mean, it just looks like all of a sudden, like he just put concrete in his chin again. I don't get it, man. He's able to withstand a lot, but we're not talking about Overeem here. Yeah, so anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Volkov and Harris, man. I mean, this is a great matchup. You got Walt Harris, who's a fucking giant basketball player? Yeah, it was a basketball player. Tried to make it in the NBA, didn't work out. Started training one day, realized he had a God-given gift of KOing motherfuckers in one punch, and decided to do MMA. And it's worked out pretty well for him. I mean, it's not the best record either ever. It's 13-8. But you know what? He's really worked his way up through the years and has become a big name in this heavyweight division. So I'm very excited for this fight. Volkov looks very good in his last few fights.
Yeah, yes.
He looked very, very good in his last few fights. So this is a very interesting matchup for Walt Harris. I mean, this is a guy you don't want to get into a 3-round war with in Volkov, because Volkov will piece you up for those 3 rounds easily. He's got great cardio. So if there's ever going to be a time to not gas out Walt Harris, it's going to be this fight, because you will get pieced up for 3 rounds if that happens. But I'm going to take Walt Harris 2nd round KO. I think he's going to be a little bit, it's going to be a pretty dirty, grimy fight the first 2 rounds, but I think he's going to find a way to land that legendary Alabama power on this Russian chin, and I think it's going to crumble, and I can't wait for it.
So, I kind of agree with this here. I'm going to go Harris decision here.
Okay, very cool. So we weren't going to pick this next fight. I don't know why this is even on the main card.
Very strange.
Philip Haas and Jacob Malkoun.
I mean, I do know a little bit about Philip Haas. He was a Contender Series on Dana White's, show on Tuesdays. But other than that, I really don't know much. And I don't know anything about Jacob Malkoun.
Yeah, well, they've been doing this a lot. They put up a fight on the main card that really probably belongs in the prelims or early prelims, because, they really like putting a really good fight in the prelim main event. So I don't blame them for that.
Yeah.
So whatever. Hopefully it's good. We're not going to pick it just because we have no information on either guy. So let's talk about this Lauren Murphy versus Liliana Sarkovia.
Yes.
Or I don't know.
It was
close enough.
Shakirova.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 8-1. You know, this is her UFC debut. Her last fight was in the GFC 18 Guerrilla Fighting Organization back in October 6, 2019. So she's a young and upcoming fighter in the flyweight division. She's had 3 KOs, 1 submission, and 4 decisions.
All right. Pretty well-rounded, it's looking like. Not a lot of first-round KOs. I'm just going to go Lauren Murphy, dude. She looked so impressive in her last fight against, who was it? Roxanne Modafferi?
Yeah, she did.
And just completely pieced her up on the feet, was stuffing all the takedown attempts. She looked very well-rounded. She looked very crisp, very clean, and was looking for a big fight with Cynthia Calvillo, who was number 3 in the world after putting that ass beating.
Happen.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know what happened. It was either an injury or COVID positive test, but Cynthia Calvillo did fall out of that fight, and they did keep Laura Murphy on this card, so at least she's still getting a good payday from that. So good on her. I'm going with her. I mean, she's top 10 in the world right now, and this girl's making a debut. That's a rough fight to make your debut.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so, Lauren Murphy, I'm going decision.
Okay, I'm going to go Murphy, 3rd round sub.
Alrighty. Finally. I mean, we should have talked about this fight first.
You know what we should do? We should go back through all of the videos that we've had, all of the podcast episodes, and compile. We could do an hour-long podcast on how many times you and I have picked this very fight right here, Magomed Ankalaev versus Ian Cutelaba. Dude, fuck. This is insane. We're finally getting it for the 5th time. I almost feel like this is a Habib-Ferguson situation here.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just like over and over. One time, Ankalaev got COVID-19. The next time, Cutelaba got COVID-19. And then there was an injury or whatever happened one time. It's insane, but we're finally getting this rematch after that egregious stoppage, which was just horrible. Ian Cutelaba was clearly not out. They called the fight prematurely. So we are getting an immediate rematch between these two. Tabor, dare I ask, how do you see this going down?
I'm staying consistent, Mason. I'm saying that, he already got me 3 points, so I'm booking for fucking 6 on him. Magomed Ankalaev, 1st round KO. I'm sticking with it. I know Ian's going to be hot. He's very angry. This fight has been, twice has this fight fallen out because of COVID. And then, like we said earlier, the bullshit was going around with the Habib card. That card got canceled. The fight got moved again and blah, blah, blah. And then you got the terrible stoppage. Everyone wants to see this fight. Absolutely. It's supposed to be Fight of the Year contender. It was going to be the first fucking time, and now we might finally actually get it. If Kevin McDonald refs this fucking fight, dude, I might throw my goddamn laptop at the TV.
Well, don't do that. That is an expensive laptop.
Not your
TV.
TV.
No, I'm more
just
concerned
mine.
about your laptop. Then.
Oh, fuck this thing, dude. I mean, that's what Apple cares for, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Shout out to Apple.
Yeah, shout out Apple. But yeah, Magomed Ankalaev, Ian Cutelaba, dude, this is going to be a fucking barn burner.
Yes, it will.
Warren. I mean, this is
a lot of fun.
Flip a coin.
Yep.
Flip a coin, the winner, and you could pick the fight.
And I'm going to stay consistent on my pick as well for the 5th, 6th time. I don't know how many times I picked this. I feel like I'm almost in an episode of Black Mirror or like a Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray. This is insane, but I'm going to make the exact same pick that I have every single time. I'm going to go Cutelaba, 2nd round KO.
Okay, what's the betting line that this fight falls out again?
Oh my God, it's got to be 3-1.
Yeah, it's got to be a moneymaker. Yeah. It's an easy $100.
Oh yeah.
This fight, it's not happening. It's like you said earlier, Ferguson, Gage, Habib. This fight's not happening.
You know what's crazy is Magomed Ankalaev is a -270 favorite. Ian Cutelaba is a +230.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Again, man, these Vegas odd makers, man. You know what I do? You know what I would do? I would parlay those 2 fights, man. I put Ian Cutelaba and Justin Gaethje in a parlay.
Oh yeah, that must be nice.
You hit on that. Oh my God. Are you kidding me or what?
Yeah, and I was going for that 5-5 parlay this last weekend.
Walt Harris is an underdog too, so you throw in Walt Harris, Justin Gaethje, and Ian Cutelaba, and all 3 of them hit, you're going to be a millionaire.
I'm doing it, dude. I'm driving down to Oregon just for that.
I know.
Fuck it. All right, Mason, we did it.
We did.
We made it to the end of the show. Shout-outs. Who's your shout-out for the week? Not the Cowboys?
No, it is.
No,
it is.
Dak.
It's Dak Prescott. Dak. My shout out this week is Dak Prescott. Dude, I really hope that Jerry Jones doesn't screw you over. There's only so much one man can do on a football team. You throw for 400, 500 yards a game. You did everything humanly possible for that team. I appreciate you. Thank you. There's a lot of people who talk shit about you. I don't know why, because I really don't I really think you're a great quarterback. You seem like a leader, seem like a good individual, good man. And I pray for a speedy recovery for you. What a horrible break. But I heard there's no infections. There's nothing going wrong. And the Cowboys have confirmed that he will be a part of the team next year. So I'm really looking forward to that. So just my best wishes to Dak Prescott. Shout out to you. Look forward to seeing you back on the field next year, man. Keep your head up, champ.
Yeah, I should fucking shout out the Seahawks for being amazing, being 5-0, even though they got a shit garbage defense. But
Okay.
it is what it is.
All right.
I mean, I'm used to it by now. I miss the good old days of the Seahawks when they fucking had a great defense.
Oh, the Legion of Boom, yeah.
I miss
Those
that
days
day. Those
are
were the
long
good old
and
days.
gone.
Yeah. Cam Chancellor. Ever since he left, they just went to shit. Yeah. But my shout out is to our comment section. Guys, thank you so much for leaving comments real quick. Never mind. These are way too long comments. I'm not reading that. But thank you for commenting, guys.
Yeah.
thank you
commenting.
thank you so much. Call me fat, call me stupid, call Mason, everything else.
You're really into the insults.
I kind of want the trolling.
Really?
I kind of do, just because I got a sick mind and I kind of like reading the shit.
Okay.
Is that fucked up?
I think you are opening a can of worms that you cannot close back, Tabor.
I lived on Twitter for 3 years, so
Just gonna really have to make sure that you got
just
thick
gonna dive
skin.
straight back in. Yeah.
Real thick skin, because if you read that shit all day, it will get to you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Everyone that subscribed to the podcast already, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're at 151 subscribers, so make sure you go do that. Make sure you go do that. And Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at the Church of MMA. We're trying to post funny memes. We're making you guys laugh. Hit us up.
Yeah, our YouTube channel again, The Church of MMA. Be sure to subscribe. Smash that like button. Comment below. Subscribe to the channel. You guys know the deal. This is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That is Tabor Cragen.